Hi, welcome to the Great Food, Great Stories podcast on Portland Culinary Radio. I'm Stephen Shomler, your host, and I'm delighted to welcome my friend Ramy Armans. You are the founder of Ramy's Lamb Shack and Baba's Mediterranean Grill. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? I'm so excited to be here with you.
Man, for those that don't know, I have been following Ramy for a long time. I think since early 2013.
Correct, since day one.
So just a brief recap. So you had a really cool food cart that you opened in 2013. You grew it until you had 2 carts and a mobile unit, so kind of 3 carts, 2 in 2 different places, one that drove around, did events. We covered your story. I wrote about your story in my first book, Portland Food Cart Stories. One of the things near and dear to my heart with your story is that you are an immigrant to America.
Yes.
You came here when you were 17 from Egypt.
Correct.
Religious persecution.
Correct. You got it.
So what was it like coming from Egypt to the United States?
Oh, boy. Culture shock, definitely, at first. You know, you see a lot of things that you never seen or you never dreamt of to be able to do it freely. So the fact that you can just walk around and tell people that, you know, yes, I'm from Egypt. Yes, this is what I believe in. And just, the first, you expect people to give you these weird looks and you kind of like, you get goosebumps and it's like, okay, I guess it's okay to believe in this. It's okay to do whatever I want to do as long as I'm not hurting people and I can live freely. And that was a huge thing for us, you know, as a family.
Because you were able... so you went from the dusty streets of Cairo, correct, to the dusty roads of East Portland, walking down Burnside and 122nd.
Yes, so it was a huge move, definitely.
But being able to openly practice your Christian faith,
exactly,
without persecution was a big deal in your journey.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's nothing is worth than whatever you believe in. Nothing is worth than having to lie about what you believe in just to get other people's approval or for your safety. So it just to be able to practice whatever it is, whether it's art or religion, or no one should be terrified to share what they believe in just because they're scared for their life.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of our country's religious freedom. I want people to have freedom to practice whatever religion they want. And then I mentioned you're an immigrant just because I'm a huge fan. Immigrants have made my country stronger. Yeah. And I am just, I have a lot of my family. My brother Marco, his family immigrated here, and I just think it's a cool thing. And I love your story because you are the American dream come true. You moved here, and you've built a life. And since I wrote about you in Portland Food Cart Stories, let's see, you, Layla is your beautiful, amazing wife.
Yes.
You have
scored on that one.
Yeah, yes, you did. You are a really good salesman, man. Talk about above your pay grade.
I know, way above.
And Ava Grace is your little girl. She's almost 2 years old. And you've been on Restaurant Startup, which is a TV show on CNBC.
Correct.
And then a long time ago, we all did little bits of filming for a documentary that's just now coming out.
Yes.
It's been released internationally. It'll be released fall of 2016 here in the United States. Food Truck the Movie, and you're promptly featured in that.
Yes.
So since I wrote about you in the book in 2014, a lot of cool stuff has happened.
Yeah.
But what brings you here today is you've got 2 new things that are being launched that I'm so excited about. I've actually got goosebumps, literally.
Yeah.
If you could
mean, Stephen, you were there from day one. You saw how small we started, how things kind of, you were there through the great stuff and the crazy stuff, so you're sharing the story, as we're moving along.
Well, what I love is that you put every penny you had into the ugliest, broken downest cart I've ever seen. It was homely, dirty, awful. You parked it. I met you right there at the Cartlandia, and you were so excited about this cart, and I'm going, this is a POS. This is awful. Yes. I can't believe it. And then within 3 days, you'd painted it. You'd put a little green rug of lawn down in front. You put a little fence. Remember that little white fence you had?
Yeah.
And you made it look so nice, and it was like, because it was the pride of business ownership.
Yes.
And that alone, I knew, okay, his food is going to be amazing, because I could tell you really give a darn. You took this ugliest cart, can imagine, and you made it it looked nice. It looked, wow.
Yeah, put tears in my eyes, man.
Well, it's true.
It's honestly, it's everybody tells you if you start, you got to start big, and that's what a lot of people tell you in the restaurant business. And I try to obviously steer away from that because 1, you don't have the funds, and 2, it's a risky business. And I'm just so thankful that I was able to do something I dreamt of, and without having to spend everything I could possibly and go in so much debt to do it. So I strongly believe it's, you start big, but just by your integrity, put what you could do in it and do it right and do it with honesty. And like you said, it's even though it was, and I was between two giant carts. If you remember, like that, the burger one, the rock and roll burger, it's one of the biggest carts you'll find in town. And mine was like a baby cart right next to it. It's like, and another guy was still twice as big, even the size and the looks. So my heart was pounding. And I remember the first week we opened, I was terrified. But I think like you did, and a lot of people did, when you see that you're trying was what you have small, you're able to make it somehow look the best at it. It's POS situation. People appreciate that, and people will support you more than anything else.
And the thing, you were one of the first carts that took advantage of the idea of that I worked with and encouraged of opening, and then a few weeks later having your grand opening.
Correct.
And you did this big grand opening party, and that really helped you because you got the word out.
Absolutely.
Which I thought was brilliant because some carts, they open on day one and have their grand opening on day one, and nobody's there.
Yeah, I was new to the food business. I never worked beside delivering pizza, and really never worked in the industry before. Beside that, the story where I just like to cook for all my friends and family, and the biggest party I've ever cooked for was like 30 people. So I was new to that. So I wanted to kind of make sure I get things done right and test it out for a week, and then that party turned out to be great. I mean, surprisingly.
And your menu, for those who don't know, you do the kind of food you grew up eating.
Exactly.
So you've got, I'll just mention so people kind of wonder, what kind of food is at these places that Ramy has? You've got gyros, kebabs, bowls, and is it your mom's recipe for baklava?
It is. Actually, baklava and falafel. So we were staying very, very, very true. Cannot be any more true to that, in terms of the ingredients and the process. So she has to approve.
Cultural food has value.
It does,
and
definitely.
your food is amazing. Yes, I ran into the people from Mixateca. I was at Occidental having a beer, and they make the food they grew up eating. And mom's recipes, you do the same thing.
Because you start doing it with love. It's not just, it has this touch that was your, were inherited. I mean, it was your parents, your mom, just every time I do it, it's like my mom standing behind me with a stick. Oh, slap me if I do it wrong. Just got to do it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's in a way to honor your heritage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, and for those that wonder, I absolutely love Ramy's food. So excited about it. Okay, so two things you have going on now. For the past year, fans like me have been very grumpy at you because you haven't been at a cart. You haven't at a pod. You haven't been anywhere. You've had a mobile. You've done some events, and if we find out about the event show up, we can finally get a kebab or get a gyro or better yet the baklava.
Yes.
I'll say right now, I put it in the book. Some of the best baklava I've ever had.
Thank you.
I've had baklava in Greece and Bulgaria and in LA, and yours is just amazing. I know that you've told me.
Thanks, Mom.
Sworn me to secrecy for how you do it, but it really is. If someone doubts me, just go try Ramy's baklava. But for the past year, no regular cart, and now all of a sudden we're going to get a double-barrel dose of your cooking.
Yes.
So you're going to open at Cider Riot, which we'll talk to in a second. Your cart, and we're going to have Abram on the Portland Beer Podcast to talk about the place he's opening there, which I'm excited for. Abram, been following him.
Yep.
Wrote about him in my second book, Portland Beer Stories.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be opening Baba's Mediterranean Grill, a micro restaurant. You're going to take the leap to brick and mortar. So we'll talk about both those things. So first, talk to me about Cider Riot. Are you excited? Going to move into this space?
Man, so I mean, when I moved out of the last stationary spot that we were at, I mean, it's been so hard to find a place that's I don't want to say worthy, but it's tough out there. With all the being seasonal, and you don't want to pay those high rents in the winters, and then all the pods are closing and we're raising their prices. So I wanted to be smart. I mean, we've been getting a lot of calls, honestly, on where are you located today, and it's been challenging for other people, like you said, to find us. So it's been on my heart to find somewhere that's close enough to downtown, but I didn't want to be downtown. And I've been looking for a while, and I just keeping my eyes open, and I try to spread the word. And hey, if someone sees a good location, to let me know. And one day, Steven says on Facebook, hey, if someone, there's an opportunity with a new cider home that's opening up. And man, if you remember, I jumped on that. Within minutes, I was like...
You called me right away.
I was calling you, Facebooking you, and I said, this is it, because for some odd reasons, so after that, I connected with Abe, and a great guy, love him. When I met him in person, at first I was kind of worried, and
I told you he's salt of the earth.
Dude, I mean, the man is awesome. I don't want to praise him anymore, but he's a huge Timbers fan. We both play soccer. You know, he started small out of his house. You know, I connected with that story, and I told him then, I said, listen, dude, I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to make you successful, you know? You want me here 24/7, I'll be here 24/7. I told him, I'll come and help you clean up. I'll come and help you build whatever you need me to do. I'm your man, so you can rely on me. And at this point, it wasn't just about having a cart there. I mean, I saw what he was doing, and he had the passion for what he was doing, and it reminds me of, you know, how we small started. We're still small, obviously, but I feel like our story should connect, and I love it. I couldn't be any more excited. The neighborhood there is very welcoming. We've been getting a lot of, you know, great response. A lot of businesses around there, and they haven't even opened yet. So we're just parked the car there just to test the water and see where things are, and it's been great.
And one of the things that cider, a lot of people that drink cider do so because it's gluten free.
Correct.
And one of the things you had to do was make sure that you had gluten free on your menu, which you'll offer.
Absolutely. Yes. So that's one of the biggest thing that we're very careful with too, on how we, you know, where we place the bread on the grill. Right now we have 2 separate grills. You know, one just specifically for bread, and that's all what goes in there. Deep fryer, there's nothing goes in there that's gluten. So I have a couple friends that, you know, so close to my heart that they're very allergic, and it's actually a huge health thing to them. So I've seen how they go out to places, and if bread is placed close to their food, they can get really sick, and that touched my heart. So I made sure that we do it right, you know. So we're offering few options that they're definitely gluten free, nothing gets close to it, and also vegan. So yeah.
Now, at the time of this podcast, next week is when everything opens up.
Correct.
And currently, I hope this changes in the future, the Cider Riot Public House is going to be open Thursdays from 4 to 9, Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so 4 days a week. Is your cart going to be open during lunch or not? What's the current plan?
So the current plan, and that's what we kind of been doing the last week, we will be open during lunch hours from 11 to 2 or 11 to 3, 7 days a week, you know, for the days that Cider Riot is not open. Cider Riot will be open on, obviously we're definitely there when Cider Riot is open, but Thursday and Friday they're opening 4 to 9, and Saturday and Sunday noon to 7. So, or noon to 9, I need to kind of check on that.
That's right. But you're going to be open when Cider Riot's open.
Correct. And we're also...
And lunch.
And lunch is 11 to 3.
11 to 3. Awesome. So now when I'm driving by,
You're all
oh my God, I'm going to be stopping by now because now I
Hey.
can get your amazing food.
We get this bucket is ready for you, man.
So that's awesome. Now I know if you listen to this podcast, please check Facebook, you know, check the websites, because I think things are going to go really well for Cider Riot, and I suspect in the near future they'll be open even more days of the week. But your current plan, open for lunch and when Cider Riot's open.
Absolutely.
And I can go get your amazing food with gluten or without, take it inside
Yep.
Cider Riot, have a great cider,
Yep.
and he's going to have 1 or 2 beers on tap. So he
Yep.
says he'll always have an IPA because it's Portland.
Yeah.
And so I get to have your food with a beer or a cider.
great beer.
That
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
So yeah, they will have indoor seating, obviously air conditioned, and we have outdoors. It's actually really kind of cute, and with umbrellas, and we're thinking about adding some cool lights and maybe fireplaces. So it'll be a nice area to come hang out after work. So
Oh yeah, I love the fireplaces at 12th and Hawthorne. Have you, or fire pit.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Those
So
are
that's the plan. So we'll see how it turns out. But I think
because you
it'll be great.
mentioned that the food cart business is seasonal, and people don't realize that, and it's not really, because carts are open 12 months out of the year.
Correct.
But when the rain starts, you know, end of October, middle of November, the business dries up.
Way.
And I've had carts that make $10 in a whole day in the winter.
I've been there.
And November through roughly April, depending on the weather, is that those months, those 5-6 months is when it's just dead.
Yeah.
Even the people don't realize that. And so food cart owners, I mean, the tough thing that people don't realize about owning a food cart is you're making your money 7 to 8 months out of the year.
You know, based on the last few years for my business, believe it or not, I made 80% of my income in the 3 months of the summer.
Wow.
Yeah, and people don't realize that it doesn't matter how busy you are, it doesn't matter how successful or how popular your food truck is, your business will drop dramatically. Sometimes it goes to, like you said, $10 a day, and if you have multiple locations, you gotta have employees sitting there collecting, $80 a day. And we have to keep those door opens because we don't want to let those customers down. The the 2-3 customers that will come through the day, and this is the regular, lunch. We don't want to let them down, and they have to wait for us until we come back in the summer. So it's a challenge, and that's one of the main reasons we decided to move out and become mobile, to show up where business is. And but then we people keep calling us, so we had to find a good location.
Well, hopefully at this place it'll be not as seasonal, because year-round I can get your food and then
Absolutely.
go inside in warm weather and have a nice
Yep.
cider.
And we'll be able to serve it inside for people too, so they don't have to sit in the rain or come after the rain. So.
Oh, I like that. That's awesome. And then you still have your mobile cart.
Yes,
So
I
people that want to find you for events, they can go to Facebook and say, hey, I want you to do my wedding, or I want you to do my corporate event. And
Yes, absolutely, and it's a huge hit. It's becoming one of the biggest thing right now. Where we're starting to see, any new festivals, food, music festivals, weddings. All those people coming into town, they want to see food carts and food trucks. So it's the big trend now. It's just having your food truck at your corporate events, like you were saying, or just regular lunches. So we stay pretty busy with that truck. So it's just find us on Facebook, because we're always out somewhere, whether in Beaverton or Gresham or downtown. So it's very easy to find us.
all right, so you're going to have at the cart, you're going to have gyros. We had mentioned this before. To mention again, gyros, kebabs, bowls, baklava. People can get falafel, lamb, beef, chicken, or kafka.
Yes.
And I know that I've had to eat through the entire. I had to. It was my burden. I had to eat through the whole menu many times.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so now you're going to also open Baba's Mediterranean Grill, brick and
Yes.
mortar, a micro restaurant out
Correct.
in Bethany.
Correct. Bethany Village, yeah.
So what does it feel like to be on the verge of opening that?
Terrifying. Tell you the truth, it's super exciting, but at the same time, it's terrifying. I remember I still have the same goosebumps, the same feelings as the very first cart when we first opened, and man, that was so scary. Truly, because it's now you've done okay trying to get to where you are today. And you have to represent, and now people will judge you on a higher scale, I believe, when you talk about brick and mortar, and just to be able to keep that and keep our fans happy, and to be able to stay true and authentic to the recipes, and you don't have to mass produce it to keep it fresh and all that stuff. So that's kind of where things are right now. I mean, it's super exciting to see where we've gone from that $3,500 cart that we bought to be able to have a brick and mortar, and God knows where we're going to go from there. But it's definitely, if I don't know if you remember, but if you asked me 3 years ago if I would ever open a brick and mortar, my answer was no. I want to just keep having trucks and adding more trucks, and it definitely changed my perspective on things being seasonal, and the fact that we can actually serve more stuff at a more basic and more consistent level. But it's definitely intriguing. It's definitely. I'm not that scared. I'm not scared. I am terrified and scared right now, but I'm not. I don't feel the excitement right now, because I'm in the middle of building it. So I think once we open and we get in there, I'll be like, oh my Lord, look what we just did. I don't know what I'm thinking.
So, and I hope that you put on Facebook regularly, Baba's Mediterranean Grill, brought to you by the people who brought you at Ramy's Lamb Shack.
Absolutely,
Tag,
absolutely.
Tag both businesses.
Ramy's Lamb Shack is not going to go away for a while. So the plan is to obviously, we have a lot of great fans that they come and see us and they seek us. So I think the name, people are starting to recognize the name a lot now. So we're gonna have a huge transition between, but the trucks will be out running. The trucks will be on the regular route. Little by little, we're gonna start. Once we were able to scale the stuff that we do in the restaurant, we're gonna start implementing that into the trucks. And once we're able to provide the full stuff that we do at the trucks, at the restaurant, and still keep the customer's favorite at the trucks, we will change everything to Baba's eventually. But yeah, Ramy's Lamb Shack, man, started it all. We're not going away from that for a while, definitely.
So Baba's Mediterranean Grill is going to have similar menu to Ramy's Lamb Shack.
Correct.
I suspect, now this is my speculation, that you'll have a little more emphasis on the bowls, which we'll talk about. You have the ingredients in the bowls is going to be amazing.
Uh-huh.
But then you also have come up with kind of I shouldn't be surprised, a Ramy's interesting innovation where you're going to have a pita pocket kind of gyro where I can eat it without making a mess all over myself.
Absolutely.
And you've had a gyro specially made.
Oh,
I
man.
mean a pita specially made.
Correct, yeah. So I've been working on the recipe for a while. Just being in the cart, we were able to use have all the equipment in there and actually get it done. So, but yeah, so we have a recipe. So now you can have a gyro inside an engineered, designed, not not to break, and it's fluffy. It's amazing. I think it's going to be one of the biggest highlight of what we're doing.
And you're having it specially made.
Correctly, yeah.
And
so
then I'll be able to get this at Baba's Mediterranean Grill.
absolutely. So you'll come in and you just build your own, or we can use what we recommend, and you have all your stuff inside a pocket pita, and you can eat it in the car or at work without creating a mess and leaking all over you.
That sounds
so
amazing.
We're so excited about this.
So when I walk in, will I have like a before me all the ingredients and I can pick which ones go in my pocket?
Absolutely. So you pick either if you want to go as a bowl or a pita, and then we just fill it and stuff it with all the great sauces and.
All right. So now let's walk people through what the options are, because I've had these options in your gyros. You've got them in your bowls. I'm going to get them in the special, easy-to-use pita. So we start with your really good rice.
Correct. So our rice is a basmati rice. It's long grain. We spicy it with cinnamon and turmeric, so it has this beautiful color and beautiful aroma to it. So that will be the base, or you can have lettuce and veggies if you don't want to do the carbs. So that will be for the bowl, obviously. So you start with either the lettuce or the rice, and then the grilled meat, which will actually be real meat. This is our biggest thing. Been talking about this for years now. It's just real meat. It's stacked on top of each other into the authentic rotisserie thing that rotates, and you'll be able to see it as you're ordering. Someone is sitting there and actually slicing that meat for you. So you pick your own meat, whether it's lamb and beef, lamb or the chicken, and
or the falafel.
Or the falafel for vegetarians, obviously. And we put that on top of the rice.
Tell everyone your mom's name.
Mervat.
A great Egyptian name.
Yes.
And her falafel and her Mervat, thank you for bringing your falafel and baklava to us.
She knows it too,
She does. I like your mom. She's awesome.
She's amazing.
Okay, so you're going to have the rice, basmati rice, or the lettuce as a base, and then you're going to have an option of meat or falafel. Then what else can we choose from?
There'll be an array of different. So we have a salad that's going to have cucumber and tomatoes, and it's Mediterraneanly spiced. We'll have. I didn't mention that to you earlier, but we'll have tabbouleh. You can add it on there, or you can have it as a special salad on the side. You can. We have pickled cabbage, pickled red onions, feta cheese. We have hummus, and of course. The sauces is, I think, what's top that off, and it's gonna be crazy. So we made this chipotle tahini sauce. Has a little kick to it. It's a little reddish, but it's amazing. It's smoky. It's incredible. Steven, you gotta try it. And of course, our signature tzatziki sauce, which we make it as healthy as possible, and regular tahini. And the other sauce that's crazy. It's green and got a zesty, fragrant to it. It's made out of lemon, cilantro, and mint.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing sauce.
Yeah. So you get all the soft texture and crunchy and all this aroma. Oh, it's amazing. I think
so I can kind of build that into my bowl or into my pita. All these different ingredients.
So you can either stuff all that stuff in your pita or have it in a bowl and eat it, gluten-free. So.
Now, you mentioned that you are picky about how the meat is prepared.
Absolutely.
And the first day I met you, you gave me this whole dissertation on how lamb should be prepared and butchered, because you actually have a butchery background.
Correct.
You worked as a full-time butcher here in Portland. It's one of the jobs you had when you came to the United States, and you learned it, and you became Todd. You know Todd Edwards at Ole Latte?
Yeah.
He is so opinionated about how coffee beans should be roasted but not burned, and you are the same way. And I've had many times I've told people you need to go have Ramy's lamb, because sometimes lamb tastes like, I don't know, dirty gym socks that have been soaked in lawn clippings.
Agreed.
And they're just but yours, because of how you handle it, is so different. So you did mention how you butcher, but you treat your meat differently, and it pays off and shows.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had and just a couple days ago, I had one of those people. You hear that all the time. It's like, I don't like lamb because it's gamey. It's you gotta treat it like a baby. You have to to care for it right. And I think that's the biggest thing. You have to spice it right, you have to store it right, and you have to cook it right. If you do one of these things wrong, that you lose texture, you lose the characteristic of the lamb. And that's one thing that I am so passionate about. Never or ever will use the lamb wrong or spice it wrong or cook it wrong. So, and also at the brick and mortar, we're even improving for what we've been doing for a while. So you get it crispy on the outside, super soft, and it won't taste gamey at all. Actually, it's super. A lot of people think it's like, oh, this is like beef, except it's juicier and has a little flavor to it. And I love it when I do that. I've had so many people that tell me they hate lamb, but they tried it and they became lamb lovers at that point.
Yeah, your lamb is amazing. If you're out there listening to this podcast and you don't like lamb, just go to Ramy's Lamb Shack or to Baba's Mediterranean Grill and have Ramy's lamb. It is amazing, and I love your falafel. I love your hummus. Your stuff you just do a good job.
Oh, thanks to you.
I'm excited for these 2 steps. You're going to be at Cider Riot with Ramy's Lamb Shack, and you're going to be at Baba's Mediterranean Grill. So if this works, Baba's Mediterranean Grill, is it possible I can maybe hope to get more of them at other places?
Absolutely. That's what we're hoping for. So just keep on coming. Show us your love, and you'll see us everywhere pretty soon, hopefully.
So, any advice you have for someone wanting to start in a food cart? Because you've made it. You've made it, and a lot of people don't. And you've been this is your going on your 4th year as a cart.
Correct.
So, any advice for someone opening a food cart?
Absolutely. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but if I would say that the main thing is start smart. You don't have to start huge. And you have to have a business mentality. Think about what your plan is and stick to that plan, because what you see what a lot of people doing, they're great cooks and they go in debt, and they think they're gonna go in there and they make thousands of dollars, and then they hit the winter and they're losing money, and then you see them shutting down in the first year. But stay authentic to what you're doing. Stay authentic to your recipes. Even integrity in food goes long ways, and people will appreciate that. Doesn't matter, how much it costs. It does matter a little bit, but people will pay for something that's great. And people will recognize, especially here in Portland, we have huge fan, and we have huge people a lot of people that recognized hard work and having the right ingredients and local. So
yeah, Portland's a great place for a culinary startup.
Absolutely. So just do something that's unique. Don't go into that, because you're gonna start a lot of pressure on your business, and just keep following. Please people, build those relationships with great people, and people will come and see you and buy your food.
So how many hours a week did you work the first year, roughly?
Oh man, it's tough. I remember putting 12 hours days, obviously cooking in the cart without the prepping, and when you start small, also when you start cheap, I guess things will break down almost on a daily basis. So you become a plumber, an electrician, and all that stuff.
So you're cooking 12 hours a day.
Yes.
How many days a week?
7 days a week.
And then before or after cooking is prep and cleanup and shopping.
And fixing up stuff. And just, I remember those days where, Steven, I'm not kidding you. I'm so thankful my wife is a chiropractor. And I had days where I go home and I just fall on the ground. I can't sit on the couch because my clothes stinks and smells like food, so I don't want to ruin the couch. But literally, I remember, my wife would run in and just massage my back, and she's like, "Oh, you're working hard," and that alone made it so priceless. The fact I'm ready to go back next day, but it was a while until I was able to get help, employees and stuff.
You probably put 80 to 100 hours a week your first year.
Easily, I would have to say, yeah. It's and it didn't feel like that, It didn't feel like that until my back was killing me, and then it got to the point where it's like you got to slow down a little bit.
Well, toward the end of the week, when I would go look at you in the evening, it looked like it.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember days. Honestly, I remember at least a couple of on my grand opening, I had to go fetch Layla. I was like, hey, and I remember when at Carlandia, we went back to one of the office room, and I had her, crack my back because I just couldn't stand anymore. It's when you're in tight space and you're running back and forth and you don't have all the right equipments to make it easier for you. But, I look at these days and I get more excited about, what we've done, because if I didn't work that hard, we wouldn't be where we are today. So
what role do you think social media has played in the success of your business?
I think huge. Being, mentioned and picked as one of the top food carts, and that's huge. I think that's one of the two, like I was telling you earlier, two of the tipping points of this business, being on your book, and which huge for us, and also being picked to be one of the top food carts in Portland in 2014. Without social media, people would not know, that, okay, who and who. People don't read magazines anymore, really. So it's social media is huge. being able to show the success, and if we're gonna have a special or all that stuff, and word of mouth and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I don't think food carts could make it nowadays without social media.
So I ran into a cart the other day, not yet on Facebook, not yet on Twitter. And I don't know if I was right or wrong, but I told them, if you don't get on Facebook and Twitter, you won't make it through the winter.
Oh, absolutely.
Was that a line?
No, absolutely, 100%. I'll back that up, because, in the winter people are cold, and do you want to stay dry, so they're hiding inside their their cave or whatever. Do you want to come out? But if you can show them a picture, or something that looks warm, they will tough it out, and they come out and try it. You'll get some of those. So, but definitely, if you want to survive and make some sort of income in the winter, you got to stay so active. You got to still show people that yes, we are still open, even though if it's raining outside and it's all snowing, we're still open, we're still running, and we're still waiting for you so we can pay our costs.
All right. Well, Ramy, I cannot wait to go to Ramy's Lamb Shack at Cider Riot Public House, and I cannot wait to go to Baba's Mediterranean Grill. I'm excited for both of those things, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much, Steve.
I've seen you from just about day one at your cart. Actually, maybe before you opened, you had just that ugly thing, and you've put your heart and your soul into it, and you've worked your butt off, and it's really been fulfilling to me to kind of watch your journey and have a little part in helping you succeed.
Stephen, I have to say that too, man. It's been an honor knowing you, definitely, all these years, and just again, it's like you have a way amazing story than all of us, and just seeing you go through all these things, I honestly always looked up to how you stuck to your dreams, and man, it just how things gone. I remember the days we talked about how you wanted to do this and do that, and then you're way beyond that now, and then just that sets a huge example for us, you just gotta fight for what you believe in, and it comes with hard work. It doesn't come with money. It doesn't come with who you know necessarily, but it's just who you love and what people, the people that support you and all that stuff in the community. But mainly it comes from your heart and your family, and the support that you and your family showed to the food carts industry. I mean, I can't speak enough of that, but thank you from all of us food cart people.
Oh, you are very welcome. I appreciate your kind words. It's very humbling.
You, man. Thank you so much.
You are a perfect example of people that battle for their dream and bootstrap their way to a better life.
Yep.
Because I know both are very.
.com.
Yeah. Both are
yes,
a .com. Bootstrap your way to a better life.com. Battleforyourdream.com. That's right. All right, Ramy. Well, take care, and it's been a joy having you on the Great Food, Great Stories podcast on Portland Culinary Radio.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Steve.
Cheers.
Cheers.